Greetings, and I'm Yeshua. Hope everybody had a great week and stuff. Today we're take a look at some Bible code stuff. I've been doing the research on some Bible code research about AI, because England's ready to want to establish AI identity and AI stuff and digital identity. So what is all this of digital ID? So I did some research in the Bible code, and it's mentioned several times in the Bible code. So I thought I'd take a look at a couple of things that the Bible code talks about digital ID. This code was found of the skip between 1 and 51, a very small skip, because it makes it almost hard for it to make sense. So I'm trying to make it more compact, more powerful, and more accurate. So take a look at Direct Money 1. It says digital identification, control of people and money, loss of individual rights, fallen technology system. In 2 Samuel chapter 5 says digital knowledge given to man from fallen powers. So what's going on with all this digital ID stuff? Well, we have to understand that digital ID was not developed by mankind. If you go back and look at where government and people got the idea and technology from digital ID, they got it from reverse engineering alien spacecraft. And also, some of it came through maybe spiritual mediums, spiritual rituals and stuff, like the Germans did back in the Vril Society back in World War II. So all this digital ID stuff is all based on fallen technology, because they want man to follow after them and not God. And we see this is setting up for a system of worldwide control. China has a system that's a social system that's about controlling people. They want to control people. If you'll go there and they do something wrong, they will fine you. You have no course to resist. You can't do anything, to it. What they say it goes. So all digital technology and digital stuff is not a friend to mankind. So eventually, mankind is going to be a slave to digital identifications, digital living, and all that kind of stuff goes with it. I look back when I was a kid. We can do things as a kid today we can't do today. We've lost a lot of freedom from when I was growing as a kid, whereas today. Every year, politicians make more laws and more laws and more laws. All they do is restricting our rights and taking our freedom away from us every single year. Every time Congress meets or State House meets, they are working on taking people's freedom of them. A good example is the idea of real ID. You ever heard that one? Real ID. Real ID. It says for security purposes that we want to make sure there's terrorists and stuff. Verify who you are. That's not true. The real thing, real ID, if you look into it, is to stop people and control people from traveling. So when I was a kid, I can get an airplane going where I want. Now you can't do that. You're restricted. You have to have a real ID, which is the same thing as a passport. So just because I want to go from point A to point B, it might be just 300 miles, but I can't go from point A to A B because I don't have a digital ID, and don't have a passport. So it's a loss of freedom. They want the government can track where you're going. You're being tracked. Everything in your life. You have to understand everything you do in your life, everywhere you go, is being tracked. And people don't realize it. They think digital cell phones, digital ID, and modern technology is great. It is to a certain point, but you understand that's from fallen technology. It's not from man. You have to understand there are spiritual powers and spiritual forces out there trying to undercut humanity and destroy humanity. The purpose of technology has always been the destruction of humanity. You go back to Genesis 6. Genesis 6 talks about the sons of God being able to go, and daughters of man, and son lovely, and take brides from them. But also, look, they taught traditions that taught mankind technology, how you make warfare, all kinds of stuff. So mankind's always been enamored with technology because they want something to go after and be superior to the people around them and their enemies and stuff. So technology has always been based on spiritual issues. Technology is more to do with spiritual issues than technological issues. And people don't get that. Technology is great to a point, but also have to realize there is a point where technology merges with spiritual powers and demonic powers. There's a what do you call it? There's a place it's going to come to in the future where all is going to be merged together, spiritual and technology, which they're trying to do now, and it's going to be even more obvious. So you have to understand that we have the capacity to resist all this stuff, but people don't. You want to go, so if I want to resist digital technology, the government said, I'm going to lock you down. You can't go anywhere. You can't do this, can't do it. We can put you in jail, all kinds of stuff. Because people don't want to fight back with that. England's going to be trying to implement a digital ID system. That is basically a slave system. Digital system is a slavery system. And it's like the mark of the beast or the digital mark. It's all a slave system. It's a slave enactment system to control you. That's what real ID is a forerunner. Real ID is a forerunner to the beast system. It's a forerunner to just controlling where you go and what to do. Now they want to control you by your palm print. If you go have a palm print, they'll take a picture of it, put it and digitize it, and everyone comes to the store, you have to put palm print on the plate, and you'll pay for your items that way. So all of digital ID is meant to lock people down and to control them. So what it means to us today, today we have to get closer to God, read the Bible, and read what God says, because there's going to be time. There may be time that's going to be put to an end because the government doesn't like that. Because digital ID and digital systems and stuff are all demonic systems, and they say that the Bible is a threat to them. Christianity is a threat to digital ID and digital stuff because they don't like freedom. They don't want people to make choices. They want to lock you down, make you a prisoner. And people don't get that right now. They will in the future because they'll be too late. It'd be too late. But today we need to understand what's happening around us. Be a sober mind, sober spirit. Understand that we are living in a spiritual war. That spiritual war is real, like Ephesians 6 tells us. The battle of earth is not against flesh and blood, but spiritual powers. When you understand that, understand all the purposes of digital systems, we have to understand everything has a connection to fallen powers. You can see this whole thing is leading to possibly a beast system, antichrist system, or even worse. It's going to be a bad situation for you. So it's time to get your life right with God, because we don't know what's going to happen in the future. You got to get your life right for God, because the world is going crazy out there. All this digital ID and digital observances, driving your car down the street, you take a picture of a license plate, and if you don't have the insurance, they'll come after you. Then you're everywhere. There's surveillance systems everywhere. So don't freak out by that. Just understand that is in place everywhere you go. That your cell phone tracks you. The cameras on the highway track you. Everything. It wouldn't take much for this to be used in their inappropriate ways and lock people down, make people a slave. So it's a short step to get to that point. So we have to understand we have to get our lives right with Christ before it's too late. Understand that the Bible code is warning us this is fallen technology. This is stuff that we should be messing with, but we are. And we are messing with stuff that's demonic and evil, and it's going to be bringing out destruction. So we have to understand that. Be of sober mind, sober spirit, understand that. And we also have to be able to have enough common sense to embrace the Word of God and to help people to come to God and know Christ before it's too late. So do you know Christ? Do you know what Jesus did for you? If you not, read the Bible. Ask us to pray for you. We'll do that. So whatever you need, seek God. God is there waiting for you. Seek the Lord. May you seek the Lord this week. Be blessed. God bless.